Good evening. I'm meteorologist Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. We're keeping an eye on the tropics, of course. It's Friday, August 20th, and this update is based on the official National Hurricane Center update that was issued at 5 p.m. I'm showing you the vantage point of the GOES satellite. It's a geostationary satellite. We can see two distinct storms that are rotating right now. This first one here is Hurricane Grace. Remember that? Came all the way across the Caribbean and hit Cancun, and then emerged over the southern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, where the water temperatures are really warm. The winds now have increased to 90 miles per hour. I wouldn't be surprised to see an eye developing very soon. But all attention really now is on Henri. This is Tropical Storm Henri, still winds of 50 miles per hour. Let's take a little bit wider look at it here on the satellite picture. You can see the spinning around. It's getting a little bit better organized because while winds are remaining at 70 miles per hour, the U.S. Air Force has a plane investigating Henri right now. And you can see on the satellite picture that nighttime is approaching. So we're going to switch over to the infrared satellite picture as time goes on. So I want to bring this down just a little bit here while we're monitoring Henri. We're seeing a lot of other activity happening. We have a low pressure system that's moving off into the North Atlantic Ocean, and we also have a lot of thunderstorm activity along the coast from the Outer Banks of North Carolina, off the coast of Maryland and Delaware. And of course, this is the remnants of Fred, what was once Tropical Depression Fred, moving off the coast and left a whole lot of rain in the Northeast, which is going to play a factor in the amount of rain that's needed to cause flooding. And it's not a lot of rain. Unfortunately, the way Fred has its trajectory set on the Northeast, it looks like flooding is a sure bet in parts of the Northeast. We'll get to that in just a minute. Let me go over to GeoCollaborate and show you the vantage point of what it looks like from a geospatial perspective. So this is where we have Henri right now, and Henri is winds of 70 miles per hour. This is the area of tropical storm force winds that you can see. These are determined by measurements from the aircraft, the NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft, the U.S. Air Force when they fly in. And now it's forecast to become a hurricane by 2 o'clock in the morning. So sometime between now and 2 a.m., it's likely to become a hurricane. The Air Force reconnaissance flight that's in there now is finding winds that are conducive to strengthening for Tropical Storm Henri. But here's what I want to talk about, and that is the path, the forecast path, and this cone of uncertainty. The Hurricane Center is now predicting Henri to take a left-hand turn a little bit sooner than was earlier predicted. Remember, it was predicted to go right up basically the middle of Rhode Island. Now it looks like it's going to be taking a little westward jog and impacting Long Island with a direct hit. So I'm going to get in a little bit closer here so we can talk about this and see what the impacts are. There are tropical storm or hurricane watches in effect for the coast of Rhode Island and also for the coast of Massachusetts, Cape Cod. But now there are hurricane warnings in effect, hurricane warnings now for Long Island, all the way down, including tropical storm watch for basically New York City. So let's get down here a little bit closer as well, and we can see what's going on. So these watches and warnings have been revised by the National Hurricane Center, and you can see those storm surge forecasts on the bottom crawl. You can see important information on the top crawl regarding rainfall and rainfall amounts. But it looks like we're going to have a landfalling hurricane on Long Island going right into the middle of Connecticut, which certainly they don't need it. They had 4 to 5 inches of rain yesterday morning from Tropical Depression Fred and had major flooding in parts of downtown Hartford. So this is a serious issue, folks, as Tropical Storm Henri and what will soon become Hurricane Henri makes a beeline for Long Island and Connecticut. Now, I do have some interesting points I want to point out to you. First of all, uh, the cone of uncertainty. There is danger outside of the cone. Don't think of that cone as only the danger zone. I know a lot of people I've talked to think that that's the case, but it's really not. Severe weather does happen outside of that cone. So you really want to pay close attention. Your National Weather Service office, your local broadcast meteorologists, they're going to be coming on TV with tornado warnings and things like that, severe thunderstorm warnings that will impact you. And the last point here is that the rainfall forecast is from 3 to 10 inches of rain in this area. And it looks like it could be falling within a short period of time. Some of these tropical downpours could drop 2-3 inches of rain in an hour or less. The second point that I wanted to point out is that there are going to be impacts to states, and I just wanted to go through this very quickly with those state impacts. So, in New Hampshire, it looks like you're going to have significant wind, rain, and flooding threats that you'll have to deal with. So you can plan for those right now. Maine, significant wind, rain, and flooding impacts as well. Perhaps not hurricane force winds, but you don't need that to topple trees. And the rainfall rates, along with Fred's impacts of dropping rainfall of 1 to 3 inches, have already saturated the soil. So flooding is likely in parts of Maine as well. And in Vermont, significant wind and rain will result in flooding as well. So it looks like there's a good chance for widespread power outages when we have a storm of this magnitude that's going to be coming ashore. The other states I want to talk about, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, it looks like you'll escape some of the major impacts, but you will have supply chain issues. So a lot of your goods, services, things like that come from the Northeast may be delayed. So you want to plan for that and think about that and put those contingency plans in place. New Jersey, you may see a storm surge of 1 to 3 feet from Cape May northward, and then a little bit higher as you get towards New York City. Consult the National Hurricane Center advisories for those storm surge numbers. And we're also putting the storm surge in the crawl here at the bottom of the screen. New York, you will have significant impacts on Long Island and perhaps even in New York City. Depending on the path that the storm takes, a storm surge could build up right in the harbor and along the Hudson. So you want to monitor that very, very closely. You'll be briefed by your local National Weather Service office on local impacts. In Connecticut, it looks like you'll have significant wind, flooding, and storm surge as well along the coastline. You've already had 3 to 5 inches of rain in parts of Connecticut. You might get another 4 to 10 inches of rain once this storm makes landfall. So major flooding is a real threat in Connecticut. So make sure that you are not on the roads during the day on Sunday, and that if your areas are susceptible to flooding, that you get in a higher place, in a safer place, and you think about what you're going to do now so you can make that move tomorrow on Saturday while you still have time. And in Massachusetts, again, there could be significant wind and flooding and storm surge. Also, those storm surge numbers, once again, are below here on the crawl. And we're going to have to monitor the exact path of this storm. But I can tell you, this kind of trajectory for a hurricane is not really that common. They usually come up and move to the northeast. This one is going to be coming up and moving to the north and to the northwest. So that's going to put a larger storm surge burden and also some significant wind threats as well that are coming in that direction. So I wanted to show you. I'll back up just a little bit with GeoCollaborate again. The 5 p.m. forecast for the path of what will be Hurricane Henri tomorrow. It looks like Sunday is the day. Sunday, the storm will pick up speed, So 2 a.m. Sunday, it's off the coast, but by 2 p.m. Sunday, it's starting to make landfall. So Sunday afternoon is the zero time, and Sunday morning you should be in your safe places where you have determined based on the expected weather impacts: heavy rain, strong winds, up to hurricane force, and floods. So you want to make sure if you're on the coast, you move away from those flooding prone areas. And then if you're inland, you move away from anywhere that's going to flood because of the heavy rain. So we're going to be monitoring it for you. Also, 2 a.m. on Monday, this is where the storm is supposed to be in northern Connecticut. So look at that. It doesn't really move a whole lot. That's going to dump significant amounts of rain in Connecticut and Rhode Island and Massachusetts, as well as those circular bands come in as the storm is going to make landfall. And also, it looks like by 2 p.m. on Monday, it's in southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire, dropping lots and lots of rain. So again, prepare for major flooding. If you live anywhere where you're susceptible to flooding along rivers, along perhaps floodplains, make your plans now and make sure you get out of there during the day tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day where you can act. And then the storm takes sort of a right-hand turn, but only goes over by 2 p.m. on Tuesday off the coast of Maine. So we'll have residual heavy rain as well. So we're talking about Sunday afternoon all the way to Tuesday morning, where we're going to be having significant rain impacts. So we'll have another update for you probably after about 11 o'clock, after the Hurricane Center does their 11 o'clock update tonight, where the track will be a little bit more refined. But more and more of the models are falling into line here, where we're going to have a landfalling hurricane on Long Island, and it will impact most of New England. So we'll keep you posted. I'm meteorologist Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This has been a sensitive information sharing environment, SICE update for the food, fuel, transportation, utility, communications, and logistics communities that all belong to the SICE. And if you have any questions, please submit them in the YouTube channel. We'll try to get to them as we work on the next advisory. So thanks for watching, and please stay safe. Think about what you're going to do during the day tomorrow.